ladies and gentlemen, this is Rensler with Skyrender Studios, and hello and welcome to episode 4, tutorial number 4 in our Factorio tutorial series, which I like to call Factorials because, hey, new word, right? Made that up back in episode 2. So today, last episode, let's look back. Let's go back. Let's look back at last episode. So what we did last time was production. So we took ore out of the ground, used a burner drill to get those out of there, put them on a transport belt, then move them down a line, then use an inserter to pull them off the belt and put them into a furnace. So now we go from ore in the ground to usable plates, which is the product of the furnace. So today what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to build things like assemblers, and I think today we're going to get into electricity. This might actually be the electricity episode, because if we want to use things like assemblers and really get into getting away from coal in terms of especially things like inserters, the drills will be coal. The furnaces, well, I think are almost always coal until you really get far along and you get the electric blast furnace. So I think today's the electric episode. I didn't think we were going to hit this episode so early, but it looks like we are. So yeah, let's get started. So we're going to go to play. We're going to go to load game here. And I saved this last time we played. That was the last little bit that we did on the last video. So what we'll do is just have that highlighted and hit load here. And we're immediately back to where we were, and if we zoom in, it's exactly where we were last time. So what I've got is a drill putting out ore onto the belt, and I have two furnaces able to keep up and actually get a little bit ahead of that drill. The idea is now I have enough material and to build more things, like the offshore pump we're going to need, and the boilers that we're going to need, and the steam engines we're going to need, because we're going to begin using steam to generate electricity. And I think I need to get a copper pipeline as well. Let's push E here, and let's look at and highlight the things we need to determine how much material we need to make sure we get this all done properly. Okay, so right now we have 3 copper plates, and that's enough for an offshore pump. I'm going to need one of those, so I'm going to left click and make an offshore pump. And you will notice down here that I have my build queue. Okay, so now I need a boiler. And a boiler requires enough stone to make a furnace, because the boiler heats things up, so does a furnace. There you go. So I have a pump, and I have a boiler, but now I need a steam engine, and all I really need here is iron plates. And it just so happens that my 2 furnaces here have plenty of iron plates. So let's go do that. It's hilarious. This thing is actually robbing from that one, but that's okay. We're going to left click while holding control. And I just immediately grab the inventory out of these guys. That's awesome. I think that's rocking. So now I can push E again, and now I can make a whole bunch of steam engines, and I only want to make one. And I'd love to make another boiler, and I will explain why. So what we're going to do is we're going to go make another boiler. If I can get my controls figured out. And we're going to hold right click here. We're going to get ourselves 5 more stone here, which we have to have for the furnace inside the boiler. Alrighty. And we're going to left click the boiler. Okay. So now I have an offshore pump. I have 2 boilers. And I have a steam engine. Before we decide to create our power grid, we need power poles. And to have power poles, we have copper. We need wood, though. So, best part is we can go to any tree that's highlighted, or that we can highlight, and do this. You know what? There's a bunch of wood laying on the ground. We're going to grab this. We're going to press and hold right click, and it says that it's raw wood. We're going to come over here and get that guy over there, and we've got more stone there, so that's going to help out. And we're just going to pick up this wood here. Cool, we have 10. That should be enough. Alrighty. Now, it should be noted that we need copper for power poles primarily because of copper plates. We have to have the plates for the wiring. So what I'm going to do to get myself a few more plates is to left click on this stone furnace and take the copper ore I have and just dump it in there. And it's going to process my copper for me. Alrighty. So now we have a body of water, and that's what I need for power and offshore pumps and water and everything. Well, if you're going to heat up water, you need a source of water. So that's what we're going to use. But I need my plates first. I just want to make sure I have all the materials ready so we don't have to keep going back and doing this. Okay, looks like this guy's almost done, so we're just going to wait for this to finish here real quick. Excellent, and we're going to control left click. That's what I do most of the time. I will be control left clicking a lot, just like there, to grab iron and copper plates. Basically anything from anything, as long as it's not the ground, control click. That's what I do. It's just what I do. Okay. Let's build a power grid. I think that's what I'm going to name the episode. Let's build a power grid. Okay. What you need to build power. You need an offshore pump. And you need to put it against a body of water until it highlights itself as green. You see that that's red? That's not going to work. You move it one more space, it works great. Why? I don't know. Rules of the game, I guess, right? So we're going to left click that guy and boom, he's done. Okay, and now we have a steam engine. It requires hot water. We have to make the water hot. That water right there is standing. It's like a lake. It's not hot at all. That's why we have boilers. So you'll see this boiler here, and you'll see the model is turned a certain way, but you'll notice something. Look at the model there, and then look at the model there. It rotates itself to be the correct direction to work. That's cool. I don't know of many other things that do that besides pipes, but I know that boilers do that. So if we left click, that's automatically the correct way to place it, and if we do this again, and I'd say take a look at that boiler in the direction of the model, those two little pipes, those are usually the best indicator. Bam, they turn themselves, they rotate. That's what we want. And we left click again, and of course they're complaining that they don't have fuel. They require coal or solid fuel, some kind of fuel that is not electricity, because that's not how they work. Okay? And then we're going to have a steam engine. And a steam engine will not automatically line itself up, so or rotate itself. You want it on the long end, and what we're going to do is, if you look, I can't move my cursor or else it'll move the object, so I'll zoom in on this. That little port opening slash valve right there, that's the pipe end of the steam engine, and yes, there is one on each end. That way you can daisy chain these things. Alright, so we're going to go like that, and we're going to left click, boom. Now you'll notice something. That the boilers need fuel, yes, and the steam engine has a little plug-in thing with a circle and a line through it. Usually means no, right? Okay. A steam engine will not attempt to produce power unless something is attempting to draw power, which means I can and will, when I get fuel, load up these boilers with fuel, and the steam engine will not do anything. And there's a perfectly good explanation as to why. Because nothing is drawing from it. Nothing is trying to pull from it. And I'm going to thieve the coal out of these. I'm going to thieve the coal out of those. And I might have to redo my burner drill thing to get more coal. I don't know. I have an idea on how we want to do that, but that may not be in this video. Okay, we've got that guy right there. And you'll notice that they're kicking on. Okay, so what they did is they just heated up the water. If you highlight the boiler, look on the right side. And I'll zoom in on this just a little bit for you. So you've got the boiler, gives you the health, gives you the resistances, gives you the energy consumption, and that's kilowatts of fossil fuels, right? It has the pollution there, and we'll talk about that. Then there's the temperature. That's very important. You want the temperature as close to 100 as you can, because it measures everything in centigrade, so that's boiling water. That's what we want. You'll also see the water, it says it has an inventory of 10. That's also what you want. That's what we call positive flow. It means it's always getting the maximum amount of water flow into it and it's able to heat the water all the way up to 100 degrees. Now, if we move over to the right a little bit and we highlight the boiler, you'll see the temperature of things in the boiler is only 19, and that's because the boiler has not requested any water because nothing is drawing power. You will see these lines change a little bit. You will see the temperature change. We're going to see quite a few things happen when we start plugging things in. And it's going to be good. So what we're going to do, to make it simple, we're going to mine more iron because I have an idea. So what we're going to do is we are going to go to production here, and now I have a new thing lit up for me in crafting under production, and it's the electric mining drill, and that's what I want. So I'm gonna click that, and it's gonna build it for me. This is gonna be cool, guys. You guys, I think, are gonna like this. So I pushed escape to get out of that menu, but you can also push E. What we're going to do is come over here, and we're just going to hold right click, and we're going to get rid of this drill. I don't need that drill anymore. And that's because I push 1, and I end up with my super secret awesome, which is patent pending name, by the way, electric drill. And you will notice the box around the drill. You've got the footprint of the drill, like the physical space it takes up, and then you have that box around the drill. What that says is, this drill will mine anything that's in that box. Simple as that. So if I have it placed over this entire deposit, and I do, I left click it, and it says I don't have power. That's okay. You will also notice that the output is wrong, and I need to put a belt there. So we're going to push 3, we're going to rotate the belt the right direction, and we're going to, bam, put a belt on there. Sweet. So now we have a belt. Now we have a thing that needs to draw power, and a thing that's going to produce power. You guys know what's going to happen next? Maybe. We're going to build power poles. That's what we're doing. We're building power poles. So I'm just going to right click here, and I'm going to left click. I'm going to max out my power pole count right here. I'm going to hit E, get rid of that. And in the bottom left, you will notice that we are building power poles. So now I have 12 power poles. I hope it's far enough. Okay, so I have a power pole. The dark blue square around it says I will supply power or transfer power anywhere in that square. Problem is, it's not highlighting the steam engine. Very, very important. You must have at least one power pole highlighting and overlapping a steam engine's grid there, that little box with curved edges on it, in order for that steam engine to put power anywhere. You must do this on all of your steam engines. If you have a line of steam engines and you do this to one of them, it will not work the way you think it works. So we left click, and now you will notice as I move, the wire drags itself, and then the wire's gone. Then the wire's back, and the wire's gone. That is the maximum distance. So I will show you maximum distance on these normal power poles, because there are better ones. I'm just saying. So we're able to go 1-2 blocks away of the square overlap, right? And then we can place our next pole. So boom, pole, and boom, pole, and we keep rinse and repeat until either we hit something and we have to move it, or this happens. I did not plan that spacing at all, but that is perfect, because I like even. I'm kind of OCD like that. Watch this. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Bam! Snapple! And I'm going to push 1 to get rid of that. Yes, I use the word snapple as an adjective. Sometimes it's a verb, too. Alrighty, so I have a drill that is pulling power. It's drawing power from my grid. And you'll notice, if you look at the information on the right side, you'll see electricity with a big line. That's full, and it's awesome. Okay? Energy consumption is 90 kilowatts. That's crazy. We're going to come all the way back over here. And yes, I know a furnace is out of power. That's okay. I'm going to highlight. Oh, look at that. My steam engine's doing its thing. And you'll notice that there is a boiler that is pulling in water. It has 10, which is positive flow. And the temperature's 100. Perfect. And you look at the next one, and it's not doing anything. But it has power. It has 100 degree centigrade water. And we look at this guy. Now, here we go. If you look at available performance, what this means is this device could perform at maximum capacity if it needed to. The performance that you did see before it just stopped, was the capacity at which it's already operating at. Oh, and these gave up because they don't have fuel. There we go. So those are going, and now the miner is working again. So now you look at performance. That's how much you're using. Available performance is how much you can have. You want the available performance to always be full. That says I can work at maximum efficiency. This is running at about not even 20%, possibly 20%. I can show you a really cool way to find out. Are you ready for this? On a power grid where there is a producer and a consumer, if you click on a power pole, you get this screen, and it's pretty cool. What this says is what is consuming power and how much, and how many of those things, and what is producing power and how much. So for the last 5 seconds, we're going to go back to a minute. You'll see that graph moves. It's pretty cool. Honestly, it's really cool. So you'll see what you're consuming is 90 kilowatts. What you're producing, because you're only producing exactly what you draw, it's 90 kilowatts. And you also have an accumulator capacity, which is awesome. If you're able to overproduce, and you're not consuming as much as you're producing, you can eventually get what are called accumulators, which are basically capacitors, and they will store excess power for you. That way, if you end up with a load spike, and your draw is more than your production at any given point in time, and you have the spare power in the accumulators will discharge themselves first to handle the spike. That's what capacitors are for. That's why your electronics don't fry, most of the time. You end up with a load, a draw, that's higher than the production. The capacitors are designed to handle it. That's their purpose. Okay, it's long enough video, I'll tell you that much. Ladies and gentlemen, we have power. We have an electrical grid. If I went too fast, let me know. If you like this video, if you hate this video, please let me know. And I will make sure to do better next time. So, and when the next episode's released, go ahead and click the View Next Episode button. Otherwise, go ahead and leave a comment. You guys are awesome. Peace and chicken grease. Keep your stick on the ice. And I will see you on Thursday, because I'm going to be doing this twice a week now. This is the Tuesday episode, and there will be another one on Thursday. So watch out for that. Everybody have fun. Peace.
And I want to say this to the television audience. I made my mistakes, but in all of my years of public life, I have never profited from public service. I've earned every cent.